Hello, everyone. So just doing a quick sound check to be sure that you can hear me. If you can hear me, please, can you indicate that you can hear? Hello? Hello? Okay, hi, everyone. My name is Japa. And if you can hear my beautiful voice and you can see on your screen right now, the screen that says webinar will be starting soon, let me know in the chat box. Okay, and while you're at it, let's spice it up a bit. Give me a yes without saying the word yes. And I want to see who will be most creative with this. So let's go. If you can hear me, give me a yes without saying the word yes. You can say yay, you can say yo, you can say whatever, but don't say yes. But if you can hear me, let me know in the chat box, okay? So let's go. Okay, so we're going to be starting in a minute, but I want to know if you can hear me. Okay, great. I can see some amazing comments in the chat box. That means you can all hear me. So that's excellent. We're off to a great start. Amazing, amazing. So I can see people joining from Ghana, from Port Harcourt, from Lagos, from the US, from the UK, from everywhere, which is amazing, amazing, great. Thank you so much. Okay, so hi, I believe you can see me now. Yeah, if you can see me, let me know. So I'm just going to quickly tell us how we're going to go with today's webinar, because I know you're all busy, important people, and this is like your time when you should be doing something else, but you're here to spend it with me and with all of us, and I appreciate it. So thank you everyone for taking time out of your busy schedule to come here today. Today we're going to talk about something really exciting, really close to my heart, something I love sharing, something I take out time every time to share. I don't mind spending my time talking about relocating to Canada all the time. So thank you for stopping by. So what we're going to do is that I'm going to make a presentation for about, let's say, 45 minutes. I'm going to try to be fast. And after the presentation, I'm going to be taking our questions, okay? So keep all those, your beautiful questions, until we're done with the presentation. There will be lots of time, about 20 minutes, we can ask our questions. But please, while I'm doing the presentation, try and pay attention, because I might be answering your questions, so there might be no need to ask your questions anymore, okay? So pay attention, and when you're sending a chat, try and be respectful of every other person that's here. You need to subscribe to the channel for you to be able to put a comment or send a message. So go ahead, click the subscribe button so that you can make a comment and you can send in your questions in the chat as well. Okay, so we're going to be starting in about a second, but once more, I wanted to appreciate everyone who is here today who has taken out time. Make sure you have your writing materials because you're going to learn one or two things. Okay, so I'm going to start the presentation now. And when I'm done, I'm going to come back to us and then we can ask those questions and get clarifications for the things that you didn't understand, right? Great. So just give me a bit to share my screen with all of us. Okay. No, I don't. Great. So we're starting off now. So my agenda today is that in the small amount of time that we're going to be spending together, I'm going to give you little effort strategies regarding relocating successfully to Canada in the very near future. My aim is actually to create confidence where there was once uncertainty. I want to shatter confusion and replace it with clarity, which means that I want to share and show exactly what you should do, when you should do it, and how you should do it. My goal is to unlock the true potential that is within you, that I know you have within you in order for you to be able to relocate to Canada in the near future. But even if I do nothing else, I want to do just one thing. I want to ensure that you know the next steps that you need to take immediately. However, this is a two-way street, okay? It's a two-way street. I'm going to give you my A-level best for this brief time that we're going to share together because I have faith and you will actually use what I share with you today. Because nothing pains me more, nothing hurts me deeper than someone encountering a life-changing opportunity and letting it go to waste. So I'm going to give you my best, but in return, I ask you for your best. So I ask you right now, as I go through this presentation, to see yourself doing what I'm going to share with you. Make it yours. See your future show up right in front of you. Because one of my greatest mentors, Bob Proctor, once said, that thoughts become things. So if you see it in your mind, you will hold it in your hand. So I want you to think about what I show you today. And if you do that, you will actually hold it in your hand. So is it okay if we move forward with this agreement in place? So what I'm asking is, do we have a deal? Do we have a deal that you are actually going to implement what you're going to learn today? So don't just nod your head or say to yourself, this is serious stuff. So prove it to me with the simplest yet the most powerful of gestures. Just put a yes in the chat box right now. Put a yes so that I would know that you and I have a deal. I'm going to give you my best and you in turn will also give me your best. Do we have a deal? Yes. So I see so many yeses. So I believe that we have a deal. Great. So that gives me confidence to actually go on. So today I'm going to show you how to become a Canada permanent resident in 2023 using the study route. But I need to make a disclaimer that this information is of a general nature and it is for education and information purposes. So this does not replace information that is on the Canada website, the Canada government website. So, and if you need immigration advice, please don't forget to contact an immigration lawyer, okay? This is for information and education purposes. So how did this come to be and how did I come to be giving such a webinar telling people about relocating to Canada? I'm going to tell you how I came to be giving this webinar today. So my name is Sheyi Obasi. I live in Ontario, Canada, and those are three different beautiful faces. But I am a Nigerian And I used to live in Nigeria, and I love Nigeria, just like a lot of us here who are Nigerians. I wanted to live in Nigeria all my life, but there was a problem. Our economy was in danger. We had a failing economic system. Our education systems were failing. School systems were failing. Then to make it worse, there was insecurity in the country. It was becoming unsafe to stay in Nigeria. So there were a lot of people who started looking to Japa, including me and my family. People were looking for ways to actually leave the country and go to places where they could have a better life for themselves and their family. So I started searching, just like everybody was searching. And I'm going to tell you my Japa story in a bit, like what I went through before I actually came to Canada. So this is my Japa story. So at the time that I wanted to relocate to Canada, it was around 2015 or so, and that was when Canada started the express entry. So I created an express entry profile, but I wasn't getting invited. So I decided to try to get a job, yeah? And I met someone online who promised me a job and asked me to send some money, which I did. But after making 2 payments, I realized that it was a scam. So I had been scammed. So I was scammed. And when I became scammed and then express entry, nothing was happening, I decided to move to Australia because my sister had recently gotten the Australia permanent residence. And we felt that, oh, you know what, if she could do it, that means we can do it too. So we started the Australia permanent residence process. Australia has their own process. They have this PT exam, their English exams, and then they have all these employment reference documents that you need to get. So I started studying for these PT exams. It was very expensive. Plus, from place to place, company to company, trying to get reference letters from my previous employers. It wasn't a pleasant experience. After gathering all the documents, paying all the money for myself and my family, we applied. And guess what? 2 months later, we were refused. Wow. It was very, very devastating. But we decided to try again. We appealed the refusal, paid another set of monies to them. And a few weeks later, they came back to tell us our appeal was refused. So that was it. Australia was closed. The door was closed to our face. It was very sad. We decided to move on. And a friend of mine in Canada told me, Shay, why don't you try this Canada study visa? I said, okay, I'm going to try it. I quickly rushed, learned all I needed to learn, put in my Canada study visa application, very confident that I would get approved. But guess what? About 2 months later, I got an email from RCC. I quickly rushed to go and check the email with excitement. But when I opened it, I had just been refused a Canada study visa. Another very devastating experience for me. I can remember just sitting down on my bed and just thinking about my life, like what kind of life is this? Now I'm just getting refused from one place to the other. Time my husband and I decided to start talking about relocation because we had lost so much money. We had lost faith in the process. We had started bickering with each other because of all these refusals. But one day my husband came back and said, let's try USA, because he had all these friends in the US who have been encouraging us to come to the US. So a friend of his sent us an invitation letter, and we decided to go and try the US. I can remember one of us going to the US embassy, of course, with high hopes as well. And then by the time the lady finished talking to us, we have good jobs, we have all the money that they needed, we had everything. But for some reason, the lady just gave us the pink or the yellow slip. We had been refused. I can remember us just walking to the car and going home. We did not say a word to each other because at this time, it looked as if there was no way. I mean, we had tried Australia, we had tried Canada. I had been in the UK before, and I came back home because we didn't want to stay in the UK. And now it looked like everything was just, there was no way, you understand? So, and I know that there are people who are in this position. You think that, oh my goodness, there's nothing. I mean, I can remember crying. I couldn't sleep. I was thinking about what am I going to do? What am I going to do to myself that if people into Canada, because I kept hearing people going, my friends of friends, people don't have two heads. That means there's something that I don't know that these people know. I need to start asking questions. And that is when I started my search and my research. I paid immigration lawyers and immigration consultants in Canada, sometimes $150 for like 30 minutes of conversation. I paid a lot of them. I listened to them. I connected with them. I heard what they had to say. And I continued to learn. My friends that had left, I learned from them. And I continued to write out what I was learning because I knew there was something that I didn't know. several months of studying and learning and researching and making notes, I knew that I was ready. This time around, I went to my husband and I said, let's start again. He was like, you've come again with these plans. But you know, this is something that both of us wanted. So it didn't take a lot to convince him. He said, okay, let's go again. And this time around, we contacted supervisors, did everything that I needed to do. And when I eventually put in my Canada study visa application, I was confident in me that there's nothing this visa officer is looking for that I haven't provided in my application. And guess what? 2 to 3 months, I think it was, I applied in March and they came back to me in May and told me that my application had been approved. Eventually, after refusals from Australia twice, refusals from the USA, refusal from Canada, refusal from even the UK, even though I eventually got the UK visa, we now were approved to come to Canada. And that is how my Canada study visa was approved. So if you're talking of being refused or being scammed, I have been there, I have learned from it, and I have grown from it. So eventually I came to Canada. On the left, there is my Canada study permits, which I got when I came to Canada. On the right is my letter of admission to Brock University where I studied. And if you see where I had circled with red, that is my funding. So I got funding of $27,000 per year to cover my studies. And then that's still some information about me at Brock University. On the far right is me as an international student ambassador. So I was the Nigerian international ambassador at Brock University, and those are other ambassadors on the far right. And on the left is my profile at Brock University. So if you go to Brock University and put in Shea or Batsi, you would actually see this profile there. And in the middle is my degree. So eventually, by God's grace, I was able to graduate, and that is my Master of Sustainability certificate that I graduated with. Okay, so immediately I came to Canada, funny enough, I knew other people that were struggling to come to Canada. Yeah, so I had friends who we had been trying to come to Canada together. I knew people who had been coming. Immediately I got here, I decided to offer my help. I mean, I knew that I knew something that others probably didn't know. I started to contact people, and I would spend time explaining the entire process to my friends over the phone, encouraging them. I was not pushing people to go ahead and apply. I was like, what are you waiting for? Apply. And they'll say they don't know what to do, and I'll tell them what to do. And I started writing little reports for them to further explain what I had shown them, on the phone to guide them. And guess what? Guess what started happening? By the time I started explaining this to friends, family members, or friends or family, I started helping them. Guess what started to happen? This is what started to happen. People started to send testimonials. They have gotten admission, or my Canada visa application has been approved. People started to get funding. People started to get, admission. And their level of confidence started to improve because they were in on the information that I sent to them. I was glad because I wanted everybody to experience the joy that I had experienced in coming to Canada. So I said to myself, imagine how many more people I could help. You understand? If I could put this into a step-by-step system that everybody anywhere can follow and be successful to get admission and visas to Canada. And I started doing that. I did that. And guess what? When I put this system into a step-by-step system, which is what I'm going to show you today, when I put it together, and started sharing with people, at first I was even doing it free of charge. I was sharing with people free of charge. And those people were started sharing with their family members, sharing with their friends. And then it became a guide and they started buying and sharing. Guess what? We started getting testimonials like these. Now, this is Timothy, who landed in Canada December 2022. And this is him at the Canada Airport. He was actually at Toronto. And he was saying that I would advise anyone that wants to come to Canada to talk to Shay. She is the best at what she does. From Timothy, this is also Jackson. Now, Jackson relocated to Canada last year using the same system. And this is what he said. He said, I had already planned to pay an agent $3,000 to help me process my Canada visa before I came across Shay, yeah? Before I came across her. And that was the game changer for me. So he didn't have to he didn't have to give an agent all that money. He actually spent only $25,000 for him to be able to relocate to Canada using this very same system that I want to share with you today. Now, would you like to know how all these people were able to do what they did? Would you like to know the secret sauce that they used to be able to do it? Yes, I know you want to learn. Like a lot of people are saying, yes, yes, yes. I want to know how they did it. I want to learn what the secret stuff is and all that. And I'm going to share that with you. Now, the thing is, you may be wondering that this sounds too good to be true. You may be wondering whether you can do this or whether you can't do it or what I'm going to share with you. And that is a valid concern, because what you're really wanting to know and what you're asking is, will this time be different? Will you finally be able to get the solution that you've been looking for all this time? The truth is that I believe that you can. And as we go through the presentation, I'm going to show you how this unique system works. It works for all people from different backgrounds, different kinds of people, each and every one of them with their unique set of challenges. So look for that, and it should help you see that you, in fact, can also do this as well. Now, this system that I'm going to share with you doesn't necessarily work for everyone, okay? It works for only people who are go-getters, people who are ready to pursue their dreams, and people who have a strong why. Yeah? Are you that person? That is what I'm going to ask you. Are you that person? Ask yourself if you're a go-getter, if you're somebody who is willing to pursue their dreams no matter what. Remember the story I told you. Refusals upon refusals upon refusals. If I didn't have a strong why, I would have given up a long time ago. So before I give you the how, let's start with the why, because your why gives you the energy to pursue the how. The bigger the why, the more likely you are to succeed. So the question is, what is your why? What is your why? Do you want to do something on this earth that continues to live after you die, that even your children, your grandchildren, and your great-grandchildren will refer to you even when you are no longer here? Do you want to make a positive change that positively affects your generations to come? My own why, as silly as it sounds, was my children. My children was my why. I wanted to give these children a better life, and I didn't want them to continue to live in a society where they probably didn't have a solid future. So, and for whatever reason, I feel that it is my duty to help you with this. And that is why, as soon as I came to Canada, I started helping people, as I'm telling you, from the first day that I landed here. So again, take a quick second look into your why. Do you want a better life for yourself and your family? And how would your life be different if you were to achieve your why today? So think about it. If you have your why now, let me know in the chat. Don't write what your why is. Keep it close to your heart. But say in the chat that I know my why. I have my why. I can see my why in my heart. Keep it close to your heart. And as we go through this webinar, a white man once said, give me a big enough liver and I can move the world. Your why is your liver. And that your why is what is going to keep you going, even though everything seems negative. So if you have your why, say in the chat that I have my why, so that I can know that you have your why, and then we can move on. So on this webinar, I want to share with you something that changed my life and the life of a lot of other people. How you can come to Canada to study and get a prestigious Canada degree or diploma, and how you can become a Canada permanent resident after your studies. I'm also going to be providing you with a roadmap on how to achieve all of the above and show you one major mistake that you should avoid on this journey. Before we dive in, there's a question that I want to answer. Why am I suggesting that you use the study route to become a Canada permanent resident? It's because from statistics, it is the easiest route to Canada with the highest admission rates from undergraduate to PhD. If you come from an English-speaking country, you do not need to write the IELTS test, and there are absolutely no age restrictions. We've had 60-year-old people come here to study. We've had 55, we had 18, all sorts of ages. So long as you have a rationale to study, you are good to go. Your family can join you in Canada. So your spouse comes with a spousal open work permit, which means they can work anywhere in Canada full-time. It doesn't even have to be in the province where you are. Your children, depending on their ages, will come with study or visit visas. And as long as your child is from elementary to high school, they go to school for free if you're a student here. It's a sure route to permanent residency. You get Canada education, you get work experience, and from statistics, over 90% of those who come to study in Canada actually stay back to work and become permanent residents. And you can actually do this yourself without an agent. And the beautiful thing is that you can start right away. You don't have to have any agent pulling you around. And this is like the most passionate thing about this system. It is a system you can do it on your own. I was just sharing with people on the phone, sending them little reports, and they were able to complete this process successfully on their own. And it's something that you too can do, right? So you're asking, what is the process? Is there actually a roadmap that can help you to do this on your own? Absolutely, there is. And I'm going to be sharing it with you as well. So the study in Canada route is actually just a 5-step process. It is a simple 5-step process. And this is the 5-step process. And I'm going to be sharing with you details from each of these 5 steps, but this is just the simple 5 steps for you to become a Canada permanent resident using the study route. So number 1 is that you need to choose a school and a program. You need a school and a program to study anyway. And I advise you that you go for a designated learning institute, because a designated learning institute will probably provide you with a post-graduation work permit that will help you work and give you time to be able to apply for permanent residence after your study. So make sure it is a DLI that you are applying to. Some people choose not to apply to a DLI, and that is their choice, but I just want you to know that a designated learning institute is the way to go if you want to stay back in Canada and become a permanent resident. Now, while you're choosing a school and a program, you have to look at the admission requirements. Do you meet the admission requirements? Does your background qualify? Because this can be confusing if you don't know how to choose a school and a program. But I'm going to show you later how to get access to tools that can help you with school and program search, okay? That is the first step. So now that you've selected a school, you've selected a program, you've met the admission requirement, it is time to apply. So let's talk about step 2, which is applying. So step 2, you apply to the school. Now, when you're applying to a school, be sure to check their study gap requirements, because there are some schools that would say they don't take people who have studied 5 years ago, but there are many schools who do not care about your study gap, okay? Then you need to check that there's study progression, yeah? The visa officer is very concerned to know that you're actually coming to Canada to study. So if you have a master's degree and you're coming to Canada to do a diploma, you better have a very good explanation for why you're doing that. It is always good to show a study progression. Yeah. And then as per IELTS requirements, like I said earlier, if you're from an English-speaking country, most of the schools in Canada would waive the IELTS for you. But it is not all the schools. You need to check the school program website. The school website, you go to the international page and check for the countries that they classify as English-speaking countries. Nigeria, Ghana, these are English-speaking countries I can think of on top of my head, but there are so many other African countries and countries as well that are classified as English-speaking countries and for which the IELTS is waived. There are a few schools that will require IELTS, whether you're from an English-speaking country or not, but those are only very few schools. So you complete your application online. Most applications in Canada are done online. You don't need to post any documents. You provide all the required documents. Usually they will ask for your transcript, your international passport, your degree, WIAC, and scratch card, okay? Then you pay your application fee. Now, 98% of the schools in Canada you need to pay an application fee, except they are doing a promotion and giving out promotion codes, okay? Most of them you need to pay to apply. And it's usually $75 and above. So I think the lowest I've seen is $75. I've actually seen $150. So there are some universities that are $150. You pay the application fee, you submit your documents, and then the school will process your documents. And that is when we move to step 3. You have completed your application, and the school has gotten back to you with your letter of admission. Hooray! Congrats! You have your letter of admission. You now need to move to the next step, which is to apply for a study visa. So applying for a study visa could be problematic without proper guidance. You need good guidance in this step. You need a good study plan, also called an SOP. Some people call it an LOE. You need a good one. You need to gather all your documents, your financial documents, your passport, international passport, your work, business documents, all the documents that you need to show that you have ties in your country. You have the financial basis to go to school. If you got scholarship or loans, you get all that documents, put it in your application. The applications are online, yeah, so there is no, you don't need to work into any VFS to submit documents. All applications for study visas are online, and then you need to apply on time. Canada study visa processing, all visa processing for Canada take time, yeah? So I would advise you apply like 3 to 4 months before you need to come to Canada to study, so you're not, caught up in the delay problems, okay? And then after you've done that and your study visa is approved, hooray, based on the processing times, like I said before, then you can come to Canada to study. When you get to the point of entry, which is airport for most of us, you get your study permit. And on your study permit, there will be an indication of the number of hours that you can work. Usually it is 20 hours part-time. For students can work 20 hours part-time. There is a temporary full-time 40 hours for students, but that's limited. It's going to be ending, I think it's by December of 2023, and there are requirements for that, but you get to work 20 hours part-time as a student. You go ahead to get your SIN. Your SIN is your number. It's like your social security number that you need to work. You get a bank account, you get accommodation, and then you start studying. Try and come to Canada 2 to 6 weeks before you are due to study, because you cannot work without studying. So for you to get a job and start working, you need to have started studying first. Now, after you've completed your study, that is when you now apply for a post-graduation work permit, but you need to have studied at a DLI. That's why I talked about a DLI when we started. If you have studied at a designated learning institute, you can apply for a post-graduation work permit. Usually, it depends on the length of your studies. So if you study for 1 year, which is like 8 months, 2 semesters, or 2 terms, you get a post-graduation work permit usually for 1 year. If you've studied for 18 months and above, you get a post-graduation work permit of 3 years. Now, in that period, you're able to qualify for and apply for permanent residence. So you can use the Federal Skilled Worker Program, Canadian Experience Class, you can use a PMP for the province where you're in, or any other programs that are in your province. So going from student to permanent residence is not an automatic process. It's not like they snap a finger and you're there. You have to actually qualify and apply for it, okay? And after you've been a permanent resident for about 3 years, you can apply for Canadian citizenship and you become a Canadian citizen. So this is the simple roadmap, 5-step roadmap to going from studying in Canada to becoming a permanent resident. Amazing, amazing. So on this webinar so far, the brief one we spent together, I have given you the exact formula, exact study in Canada formula that I've spent years perfecting. You now immediately possess it, and you possess all the power that it holds. You now know how to apply to schools in Canada, what to do after applying. You know certain tricks to practically help you to be successful in this journey. And giving you, I hope, the confidence to transition from what you have been doing before to what you can start doing now and doing successfully. Yeah, and I've given you some simple strategies that can have a profound effect or impact on your results. And I've done all this and much more in the limited time that we've had to interact with each other today. Now, knowing what you know now, I want you to give me your answer in the chat. Do you feel more confident about this study in Canada round? Yeah? Just go ahead and put your answers in the chat. Are you happy that you came to this webinar today? Do you feel that you're getting value for your time? And do you realize how much advantage you have over those who are not here today? Put your answers in the chat. Can you see yourself using what I've showed you today to help you on your Canada journey? Because even if you use a tiny fraction of what I've showed you now, would you say that our time so far has been well spent? And would you like to know more and learn more valuable strategies on how you can finally be able to crack this relocation to Canada thing? Yeah? Amazing, amazing. So I've gotten a lot of yeses. I'm so happy. Thank you, guys. This means that you didn't waste your time, and I am not wasting my time as well. Now, here's what I know about you. You want to come to Canada as soon as possible, as soon as reasonably possible. You don't want to waste time. You don't want to make any mistakes, and you want guidance from someone who can help you succeed. This is what I feel is your profile because you're here listening to me today. Now, the truth is, we had 4 hours together instead of just the maybe 30 minutes or so that we spent so far. It's going to be hard, almost impossible to give you the full extent and benefit of all that I could give you. Because no matter how good anyone is, 1 or 2 webinars isn't really going to be enough to give you the full guidance that you need. You need more than that. Yeah. So what I'm giving you today is incredibly valuable, as you have told me in the chat. But truly, it is just a tip of the iceberg. So you see, before doing this webinar today, I was faced with 1 of 2 choices. Yeah, I had 2 choices. So the first choice I had was that I could share what I've shared so far, part ways with you, and then hope that on your own you can make a go of it and maybe be successful in getting yourself to Canada as your heart desires. Because I have absolute confidence that you can take what we have shared so far, go on your own and put it into action, and you will get results that you haven't gotten before. I know that you must have learned 1 or 2 things about studying in Canada that you did not know before. Yeah, so you can go at it by yourself. And a lot of people do that. But if that was your only option, then that would have been like an ideal choice for you to take. However, there is a second choice. And the second choice is that I could take a more active role and responsibility for your success, to create a situation where our relationship could evolve from just that one and done type of deal that we're having today to an ongoing, growing, and mutually rewarding relationship. Yeah? One where I will do everything I could to make your success certain, and you will do everything that you can to make sure that you are successful as well. That is the second choice. So I chose the second choice because I feel that the second choice will have more value for you. Yeah. And if you have liked what I have said so far, trust me, you're going to absolutely love what I'm going to share with you next. So it is with great pleasure, based on the comments you've given me, that you have actually gained value from what I've shared with you so far. With great pleasure, I introduce to you the Niger to Canada Japa system. So it's no longer Niger, it's the whatever country you are from to Canada Japa system. And the most beautiful thing is that it's a no-hassle system. It's a simple step-by-step guide that will show you how to become a Canada permanent resident by studying in Canada. And it's easier than you've ever thought was possible. Yeah? Yeah, so it's a simplified step-by-step guide, a comprehensive, detailed, simplified step-by-step video and PDF training guide that covers all the 5 steps that we talked about today. Yeah, and these are practical steps that anyone, anywhere can follow. Now, on the right of the screen, you can see a testimonial from someone who said, "God bless you for your tutorship and guidance. I look forward to seeing the process through to the end with your valued support." That person eventually got admission and got their visa approved to come to Canada. Yeah, and they are lauding the simplicity of the Canada Jackpot system. The Canada Jackpot system also has simple, easy to use school search. Yeah, so you will easily find the schools and the programs to apply to without tearing your hair to pieces. So we have tools and guidance that can help you to choose the right program, the right level of program, as well as the right program for you. Also, we show you scholarship and funding opportunities, because I know that money is important, and how to search for scholarships and funding, how to get access to long-term international affordable study loans. Now, if you look to the right of the screen, you would see a testimonial from someone who is actually thanking us for introducing she and her brother to the Canada Jackpot system. She says, I got admitted into college for next spring, and I also got scholarship with my brother. And that the letter is there, the scholarship letter is right there. You can also look at it. This person got scholarship using the guide that we provide in the Canada Jackpot system. Then study visa processing guide. Visa processing is so critical, because that is what is going to get you into Canada anyway. And we have a sample of one of our students that got their visas approved. We show you the documents that you need to submit that will get you approved, so long as you follow the guidance that we give. We give you guidance on how to submit the best application and show you how the family can join you in Canada or can apply with you at once. We have valuable templates. So sometimes you need to contact supervisors with emails. You need to write your statement of purpose, letter of intent. You need to write letters to the school. We have all those templates. So it saves you from creating these documents from scratch, from your head. You have something that you can model after. And the benefit is that you are modeling after documents that have been successful. So these are documents that people have actually used to get into schools in Canada, to get admission, to get funding, and to get visa. And you have those letters that you can model after, okay? Now, I do not need to tell you that the Canada Jackpot system works. Now, there are testimonials upon testimonials. We get testimonials almost every day. So this system absolutely works. Even from people who are applying for the second, third, or even fourth time after they've been refused before. It works for them. So I know beyond a shadow of doubt that it works. The thing is that how much would you price something like that? Like if you had a system like that works, how much would you price it? And if I was to price it at what it is truly worth, I wouldn't have any issues asking you to invest 200,000 naira to get the Canada Jackpot system right here and right now, because it is actually worth that and even more. Many people actually pay quack agents triple that amount, quadruple that amount, 6 times that amount, and get absolutely zero results. Or some of them even get banned for using some of these agents that would use documents that would get them into trouble. So at 200,000 naira or higher, you will still be getting a great deal, an absolute steal from the Canada Jackpot system. Because for me, it's not just about the money, it's about impact, yeah? Because I've been there, so I know the feeling. I've been there, so it's about making an impact. But I've decided to reward those who act boldly and who act immediately, because those are the kinds of people I love to work with. So if you sign up within the next 48 hours, instead of that 200,000 naira, which is a great deal, by the way, you will still be able to get full access to everything that makes up this wonderful program called the Canada Jackpot system for drum roll, for just 40,000 naira, which is, my goodness, it is a steal. 40,000 naira is something you probably spend for one night in a good hotel or to buy a good handbag. So you're getting all of that for just 40,000. But then this is when we get to the very good part. In addition to all the things you get to the Canada Jackpot system, you get some amazing limited time special bonuses. Now, these are bonuses that might be going away anytime soon, but will only be available to those who are able to sign up after this webinar, okay? So people get stressed out about getting accommodation in a new country. People ask me all the time, how will I know where to stay? So we solve that problem for you. We show you how to get your first job in Canada where to look, what jobs to look for. We also show you how to get accommodation, what to do, how do you move from maybe from the airport to somewhere, how do you get accommodation? We show you all that. That's bonus number 1. Bonus number 2, we give you a checklist of the things that you need, absolute important things that you need to start studying in Canada. So no more wondering what you need to get started. We've solved that problem for you as well. So everything you need to study in Canada, a checklist that you can just mark off, we have that for you. Bonus number 3, which is this one, is just so sweet. We have a database of schools and programs, yeah? So database, so everyone knows all those popular schools, but we're trying to come up with a database that have the not so popular schools, but they are great schools as well for international students. Yeah, so we have that list, so you can easily check through those schools to see if the program that you want is there, and then you can go to the school website rather than just going to Google and being frantic, searching all over the place. That is your bonus number 3. Bonus number 4. Now, this is a new feature that is coming soon. So we have an artificial intelligence sort of software where you can ask questions. So her name is Jenny. She will ask you some questions in terms of what do you have, and then you answer some questions, and she will eventually tell you what level of study that you can go for. So if you have a 2-2, you have a 3rd class, you have a PGD, and you're wondering, I have a diploma, I have an NC, what can I study? Jenny is going to help you with that, and this is a feature that is coming soon. So that's bonus number 4, right? So let's move to bonus number 5. We do free reviews of your CVs, your SOPs, your emails, your letter of intent. Nobody is doing this. We provide free basic reviews of all these documents for you. What we do is that we're going to be highlighting the appropriate corrections for you to make. So no more cracking your head, just write it, send it to us. We show you where you need to make adjustments, yeah? And this is a bonus for those who can get the Canada Jackpot system after this webinar. Now we're also coming up with a payment portal for international students. A lot of people are wondering, how do I make payment for my admission fee? Or how do I pay for my deposit? Or, how do I study loans and all that? So we are going to be having, it's a feature that's coming very soon, within the next few weeks, a payment portal for international students. So payments made easy. So you can instantly pay school fees, visa fees, education fees. It's fast and responsive. If you use the portal, or if you use the one that is on our website, you have special fast and responsive service. They are giving special services for those who are coming through the Canada Jackpot system. It's bonus number 6, right? Imagine all the bonuses you're getting, plus the Canada Jackpot system for ordinary 40,000, yeah? And then we provide professional services. That's bonus 7. So we're giving you world-class system. We answer your questions in good time. And if you're one of those who has no time or absolutely wants someone to do the process for you, we have professional paid agency services to process your admission and your visa application. It's very competitive because we have a lot of people. So we usually take first come, first served for these services. That's bonus number 7, right? And we're not done. Like, these are all the bonuses that you have so far. So far, you have 7 bonuses. And then we have one more bonus. You have access to me and my team. So you can reach out to our support team by email when you have issues, you need clarifications. We have a dedicated and experienced support staff, including myself, that will guide you and answer your questions. It doesn't matter if you send us 1 million emails, we're going to respond to you and give you clarification. And if it becomes absolutely necessary, you can schedule a personal 15-minute consultation with me for free. A 15-minute consultation usually will cost 10,000 naira. As to those who don't have the Jackpot system, they actually pay 10,000 naira to speak to me for 15 minutes, but you are going to get it for free when you have the Canada Jackpot system. So what I want you to do is that I want you to make a fully informed decision, yeah? This product has actually helped many people, many, to achieve their Canada relocation dreams in less than 1 year. So unless you are committed and serious about your success and taking action, please do not sign up. Please do not sign up except you are committed, you're serious, you have a strong why, and you want to move forward. Now, due to the extremely high value of this product, we have a strict no refund policy. Yeah, so please make an informed decision and only make a purchase if you agree with this. Now, I only work with people who are in a success state of mind, like I said before, and those who know what they want. So if that's you, then go ahead and sign up. And then I also wanted to announce that there's going to be a price increase. I mean, if you're here today, you are absolutely lucky because you can get in before the price increases. Yeah, the value of this product is amazing. At whatever price we increase it to, the value still hasn't met the price, not even a quarter of the way. Yeah, so there's going to be a price increase coming up March 1st, 2023. The Japa system 3.0 is going to 50,000 naira only with effect to March 1st. So you can still get it today, you can still get it tomorrow, you can still get it within this month at at 40,000, and that is the only time you can get all those bonuses as well. So this is how to purchase. To purchase, kindly ask for a purchase link from the affiliate that invited you to this webinar. So the Nigeria to Canada Jackpot system is an affiliate product, which means that it is on affiliate platforms, and there are many affiliates that do sell it. Okay, so if someone has invited you to this webinar, ask them for the purchase link. If you are in my webinar, if you are in my wait room, the link will be shared in the wait room if you're in my wait room. But if somebody actually sent you here, go ahead now, tell them that, you know what, I've watched the webinar up to a point and I am ready to make a purchase, and they are going to give you the link for you to actually make that purchase. Yeah. Now, my assistant has just messaged me that some people are already making their purchase right now, which is amazing to hear. And I am so grateful to all of you. But, you know, the thing is that as we finish the webinar today, you might find yourself sitting on the fence. So you're wondering, is this for me? Some of you who are wondering, is this for me? So you're actually sitting on the fence. You haven't been able to make up your mind, and you're thinking whether this is for you. Now, I guess so, yeah. So usually when people are on the fence like that, it's usually for one of the following reasons. Now, the first thing that might be making you delay is money, the money you need to get the Japa system. Now, if you look on the right, that's someone who sent me a message that they actually spent 5.4 million on the procedure to get a Canada visa for themselves and their family. They sold everything. They were ready to relocate. They said goodbye, but they did not even get their passport back. It was a scam. Yeah. So just so we're clear here, if the price is your primary concern, be direct with one another, because a lot of times when people say that they cannot afford something, they are not being 100% truthful. You know why? You know why? Because what we have today, you can start with only 40,000. But let's say you had an opportunity to invest in a business that will give you, let's say, 2 million over the next 6 months. As we're here, you get a phone call that there's this business, so, and it's confirmed 2 million in the next 6 months. And the price for that investment was like 100,000. Would you say, I can't afford it? No, of course not. You will rush to look for the money. So let's get rid of the myth of whether you can afford or you cannot afford. The real question is, are you willing to do what it takes to make this investment or not? Because as you sit here today, you have some options. And one of the options is that you do nothing. But doing nothing doesn't just leave you with the problem. It makes the problem worse. So you and I know that the thing that you need to do is to just do it. If something is important to you, then you're going to find a way. Now, for those of you who haven't signed up, but yes, your problem is not money. Your problem actually is time. Now, there's a testimonial on the right. There's someone, you know, who got the Canada Jackpot system, and they were complaining about time because they were so busy, yeah? But I gave them some strategies of how to find time, and you can see their testimonial over there. They got their visa even though they thought they didn't have time, yeah? So here's what I know about you. The first thing I know is that you can make time for things that are worthwhile and important to you. Because you have been here right here at this webinar for 45 minutes. Yeah. So I know you have some time. The thing is that, do you have enough time? Well, Time is the only thing that every one of us has the same amount of. So it's not about how much time you have, it's about what you do with the time you have that matters. So here's what I want you to do. If I can show you how to do this, how you can save time, would you sign up? Would you sign up then? Now, here's what I want you to do. I want you to begin to make a list in your head of the 5 effective things that you do consistently during your day. Things like watching Netflix, browsing through social media, dancing to TikTok videos. I want you to take a big red marker in your mind and cross it out. And in place of those things, put work on my Canada Japa plan. The question I have for you that if you knew for certain that you can move forward with your Japa plans, would you not be willing to wake up 30 minutes before the time you usually wake up and go to bed 30 minutes later? It's just 30 minutes. If you can spend 30 minutes every day, you can do this. I was spending 2 hours. I was working in Lagos. You know how Lagos traffic is. I would get home. I walk between 10 p.m. to midnight, doing this research, getting this information, calling these people in Canada just to get the information. So if this is important to you, trust me, you're going to find the time. Okay. Now the next problem that some people have is ability. So some people feel that, if they feel that this is such a big process that they cannot do by themselves. Yeah. And, I've gone ahead to put another testimonial on the right, of someone who also thought they couldn't do it, but they eventually were able to do it. Think about the first day you went to university, wide-eyed, or you went to college or whatever. You thought, it seemed like such a big issue, or the first day you got your job, you thought you couldn't do it, but somehow you were able to do it because you got guidance, you were patient, you had a boss or a teacher who taught you, and you were able to do what you thought you couldn't do. Yeah, and that's what the Canada Jackpot system is. We know that you don't know, and everything that you need is actually put in the Canada Jackpot system for you. Now, this one is probably the biggest of all. Yeah, whether you realize this or not. I can help with the other 3, but I need you to help me. I need you to help me when it comes to fear. All these people that you see here, all these testimonials, are people who thought that it would not work out for them. People who were scared. People who were confused as well. Okay? Now, I know it is always scary to go out of your comfort zone. And the easiest thing you can do is what you've always done. So fear is a big thing. Yeah? I'm not asking you to set aside your fear. I know you're worried. What if I screw up? What if I make a mistake? What if it doesn't work? Yeah, what I'm asking you is that you make your why bigger than your fear. Yeah, that's what we talked about in the beginning. Make it bigger than your fear. And I want you to declare to me right now that fear is not going to keep you motionless. Fear is not going to stop you from relocating to Canada this year. Declare it. Declare it to me. Declare it to the world. Declare it in the chat box right now. Because you know what? Whatever you declare comes to pass. Ask it to yourself, because as you're writing it down, as you're thinking about it, as you're declaring it, you are actually telling it that out there to the world, telling it out there to the elements to say, I will not let fear hold me back. So let's go ahead and put it in the chat. I will not let fear hold me. I know how fear can be. I was scared too when I started this process. So put it in the chat that fear will not hold me back. Okay? Now that we've covered money, we've covered time, we've covered ability, we've covered fear, and we've told you that anyone who is serious about relocating to Canada can make a success of it. Yeah, I'm going to be answering some frequently asked questions that I usually get from people who are considering relocating to Canada through the study route. Now, some people ask, what if I have a tutu? What if I have a third class? It's NCE that I did, or I have WAEC. The truth is that no matter your level of education or grade, there's something for you. Yeah? You can study if you have a rationale to study, from high school diploma all the way to PhD. There's something for you. And then one big question, how much does it cost? People are always asking. The truth is that nobody can tell you how much it's actually going to cost you, because cost will differ from person to person. So I have put a range of the cost here. So this is just a range. So I can't tell you it's 30,000 or this amount, but I can tell you that school applications cost between $75 to $150. Tuition, if you're coming with funding, your funding or scholarship might cover some part of your tuition. But tuition, the lowest I've seen, I think, is actually around 10,000 to probably around 40,000 per year. Living expenses for yourself as a student is $10,000 Canadian per year. I think it's a little bit higher for Quebec, but it's on average is 10,000. Living expenses for anybody that is accompanying you, you need 4,000 for the first person that is accompanying you, and you need $3,000 Canadian for any additional persons. These are Canadian dollars, by the way, using the bank rates, not black market rates. Visa processing fees is $235 Canadian if you haven't done biometrics. If you've done biometrics, it's just $150. Medical, I think it's approximately 50,000 naira. I'm not sure what it is right now. Airfare, I don't know, maybe 400,000. I really don't know. That's why there's a question mark there. And miscellaneous is about 100,000. So this is a bit of the range, yeah, of what you need to study in Canada. So it's absolutely not free, yeah, but you can actually get scholarship funding and you can get a loan to offset some of these costs for you. Don't forget that there's a price increase coming up March 1st, 2023, and if you can get in before then, you're getting absolutely the same value as someone who's going to pay 50,000. So I see no reason why you are not clicking the button or reaching out to whoever invited you or going to grab the link. If you're in my wait room, the link to purchase is already there. You should be making your purchase right now. So let me tell you right now that to try to process Canada study visa without proper guidance, without proper knowledge and mentorship is infinitely harder. You would have a tough time trying to do that. So this is a simple step-by-step guide to become a Canada permanent resident. Is the Canada Jackpot system. It's easier than you ever thought possible. And these are some of the bonuses that you get. You get 8 amazing, freaking exciting bonuses in addition to the Canada Japa system, yeah? And it's just 40,000 until March 1st, 2023. If you want to grab a goal, you cannot climb the ladder of success with your hands in your pocket. You actually need to get to work. And a year from now, you would wish that you had started today. Or reach out to me and say, oh my God, I wish I started earlier. I too had the same problem. I wish I started earlier, yeah? So a year from now, you wish you had started today. So why don't you even start today? Don't forget your why. Some of you have been struggling with traveling out, and despite your best attempts to solve it on your own, you have been failing, like me. You know, we were doing everything, and we thought we were doing everything, and we're failing. Willpower usually doesn't take you very far. Yeah? And then if you don't lack knowledge, it won't take you very far. So if you're serious about making a move this year, you want your children, your grandchildren, your great-grandchildren to remember that it was you that moved the family to Canada. If you're serious about moving this year, and have a great chance of success where everything down to the last detail has been designed to help you succeed. You should be messaging whoever sent you here. You should be messaging them to send you the link to purchase. Don't forget your why. That's why to keep you going. See this little child praying for his grandparents because they came to Canada. And once you're a citizen, every child born to you or to your children, whether they like it or not, they will be Canadian citizens. Don't you want to do that? So don't miss out on this opportunity. This Canada Jackpot system will save you from feeling hopeless, wasting time, wasting money, trying to relocate to Canada on your own. I mean, it will help you. So go ahead, click the link from your affiliate. This is an affiliate product. Like I said before, I need to stress that. So you'll be getting the link from them. Once you make the purchase, you will have all my contact details inside the Canada Jackpot system. Then you can reach out to me. You can reach out to me directly, and then we can start talking and thinking about how to get you to Canada as soon as possible. So thank you very much for taking the time. I know I took about almost an hour, but I hope it was very valuable. All the best, and I will answer your questions now. I'm going to stop sharing my screen, and then we're going to start talking. Okay. Okay, so I'm back now. And if you have a question that I didn't address when I was talking, this is the time for you to ask your questions. Okay. So I'm going to be looking at the questions, and if I see a question that I should answer, I'm going to answer it, but I can see so many people saying they are more confident to pursue their Canada Jackpot plan. They are more confident than they were before, which is great. The questions are just coming in. Fear will not hold you back. Definitely fear will not hold you back. So I'm gonna take some questions. Let's see. Let me see this one. Let's see. Just give me 1 second to look at a message. Okay, so I'm going to be pinning the messages that I would be answering. I'm pinning it there. This person says, I am a BSc physics holder. I'm a BSc physics holder with 2-2, which makes me go for PGC or masters. Can I change course? How can I write a good SOP and LOE? Like how many millions? So if you had a 2-2, like I said, you would have to be going to do a PGC. How many millions? I also gave you the link or the snapshot of how much you're going to need. So you have to go and calculate that by yourself. Maybe I'm going to start from the beginning and start looking at questions. This will give me a second to just look through. Question. How much is a rough estimate for a family of 5? So you're going to have to go to that, go to the slide where I showed the cost, and then you can calculate. How much is 40,000 in Kenyan? I wish I knew. How much is 40,000 in Kenyan shillings? I don't know how much. I'm so sorry. Like I don't have the converter. But if you are purchasing on seller, you would see they also price it in your currency. I think that's how it's done. They price it in your currency. So I'm so sorry. I can't say exactly. I will not let fear hold me back. Let's see. Let me also highlight this one. This is from Samuel Bata, Australia. Sorry if I'm not pronouncing. I just got my study permit approved. Hooray! In January, that's great. Can I apply for my family before arriving in Canada? My school starts in the fall. Yes, you can actually apply for your family. I mean, it's usually recommended that you get to Canada first, but since you have a lot of time, you can apply for your family while you're here. Like I have people who have done that and it was successful, so you can do that. So someone is asking, I'm going to also put this question up. This question is from Olalekon Shokumbi. With my degree, can I apply for a diploma? Is that still study progression? So if you're asking if you have a degree and you want to apply for a diploma, I don't see study progression there. But if you have a good explanation as to why you're doing a diploma, even though you have a degree, I'm telling you that it has worked for some people, okay? So if you have a good reason and you can explain it to the visa officer, yes, it can work. But on the surface, there is no progression there, okay? Let's remove that message. Let's look for the next one. I will not let fear hold me back, definitely. So I'm looking for a question. Someone says, I want to know about GIC account. What do you want to know about it? Can someone, let me just highlight this question. This one is from Anulika Miriam. Thank you so much for the opportunity. My question is, can someone use a company as sponsor for proof of funds? Yes, you can absolutely use a company, even though I don't know what your relationship is with the company. Is it the company you work for? Is it somebody's company, your relative's company? Yes, you can use a company. When you are using a company account, however, the company should not be using all the money in the account to sponsor you, because it is a company and they need their money for company things. Yeah, but yes, you can use a company can sponsor you. Yeah. So let's look for a few more questions. Someone says, this is from Emmanuel, and I'm going to pin his message here. Emmanuel Akwechi. I have gotten admission already, but visa denied for 3 times. Oh my God. I'm so sorry. That's such a devastating experience. If your visa has been denied for 3 times, then you're absolutely doing something wrong. You need to now check what you're doing wrong. Have you ever requested for your GCMS notes? So a GCMS note is a report that shows you details about a visa officer's notes and why they have refused your visa. I have a feeling that you've been applying and you don't actually know the real reason why you are being refused. So my advice would be to get your GCMS notes, yeah, so that you can be addressing the actual reasons why you are being denied. Okay, let's look for a few more questions. Let's go down. Someone says, would you assist in SOP writing? So we can help to review your SOP if you've written it. If you want SOP writing services, we do have paid services for SOP. Yeah, so yes, we assist with that. Now, this one is from, I'm pinning it up, Mercurius. Mercurius says, after graduation, instead of applying for post-graduation work permit straight, can I extend my study by applying for another course before post-graduation work permit? Definitely, that's a great question. So after graduation, you can always apply to study at another school or the same school or another program, yeah? You can extend your study visa, you just need to apply to extend your study permit or your study visa, and you're able to do another program before applying for a post-graduation work permit. And the reason is because post-graduation work permit is given only once. Yeah, you cannot apply for it twice. So once you get it once, that's it. So yes, you can extend your study permit and get another admission and study before applying for post-graduation work permit. So let's look at a few more questions. Someone says, let me pin this up so that we can all see it. So this question is from Femi Adeyemi. He says, I have a 3rd class degree. Can I get scholarship to do PhD or master's? So with a 3rd class, it will be unlikely that you would get to do a master's degree, because usually a 2nd class upper and a high 2nd class upper is usually a requirement for master's degrees in Canada. So you can actually study for a post-graduation work permit and advanced diploma. And frankly, I do not know if you get scholarship. So that would depend on the school that you're applying to. You need to check the school, whether they offer scholarships. So let's look at another question. Can one with 2-2 do a master's? I just answered that. I have a diploma. Let me just pin this up. This question is from Naomi Baidu. I have a diploma in midwifery. Can I apply for BSc nursing? You absolutely can. You can do that. And then we have another question from Tosin. Tosin Olofindare. I'm over 40 years. Can I apply for study visa for myself? At the same time, apply for study visa for my 3 kids, 15, 12, and 6 years. You absolutely can. You are allowed to apply with your family, like I explained earlier. when you get the Japa system, you will get details, highlights, strategies of applying with family, what is best to do and how best to do it. So yes, you absolutely can. You're allowed to. How long have we been going now? So we're just spending about 30 minutes for questions, and I don't want to go beyond that. Let me just highlight this question. So this one is from Kike Lomo Dare. As a HND graduate, do you advise I apply? I go for a diploma. So I think I already answered that. I already answered that. So it depends on the program. Personally, I don't see a progression, but if you can explain why you're going for a diploma instead of a higher degree, then you're good to go. Is it possible to get visa with my wife and leave afterwards? My wife joins me. So this is a good question. And what I would advise is that you apply for your wife when they are ready to join you. So there's no applying for visa now and then she joins you later. So if she's not ready to go now, then you apply for her when she's ready, okay? So this question is from Covenant of Mercy. Beautiful name. So Covenant of Mercy says, using loan as a proof of funds, must I indicate that in my letter of explanation? And the mode of loan payment, you absolutely must indicate in your letter of explanation every source of income or every proof of funds. That is what a letter of explanation is for. If not, the visa officer, you are telling them to go and figure it out. You don't want them to figure it out. You have to lead them by the nose, show them everything so that it's clear, okay? Someone says, and this is Emeka Oswaha. Emeka says, and the message is, his question is pinned up there. He says, does Nigeria need GIC when applying for study visa? That's a great question. So GIC is not like compulsory for Nigerian applicants. Yeah, it's compulsory from applicants from certain countries or certain regions. But if you are able to get a GIC in Canada, it is great. I think it will be great for your application, even though it is not a requirement for you. Yeah. Let's look at this next question. Let me see the question first of all before I put it out there. Someone says, I think I should answer that one. He says, and it's Victory Okafor says, I have BSc in biotechnology, but I applied for graduate certificate in global business management. After BSc, I became a tailor, my own business. It is progression, yes. So you are actually on the right path if you have applied for global business management. Someone says, I already purchased, let me pin this question up. You already purchased the Japa system, you should be sending us a message. Which level can I apply with an MBA? So if you already have an MBA is like a terminal degree, so you cannot apply for a PhD, you can apply for another master's program or a graduate certificate. Is it possible, let me just put this question up, is it possible to get, so this is from Jessica Okebie, possible to get fully funded scholarship through the Japa system? So the Japa system is going to show you and guide you on getting fully funded scholarship, but the Japa system is not going to give you scholarship now. You have to actually qualify for a fully funded scholarship in order for you to get it, yeah? And the Japa system can guide you. It's the school that gives the scholarship, not the Japa system. Okay, so someone says, this is a great question, and I'm going to pin it up. It's from Mercurius. I think I answered the question from Mercurius before. What do Canadian schools mean by 70% in the last 2 years of study? Does it mean they only need transcript for our last 2 years of study? So they need the transcript for your entire study. So what they mean by the last 2 years, some schools will consider your GPA for the last 2 years, yeah? So there are some people that made 70% in the last 2 years because they became serious in school. The first 2 years they were playing. So if you actually were able to make that 70% in the last 2 years, the school will consider you as having met the requirements, even though you might not have met it if they were considering like your entire 4 years or 3 years of study. That's what that means. Okay, so I'm going to go down a bit and answer questions that I know that I didn't address when I was talking. So, I mean, Chinwe Nkem, let me just put up her question, is asking, I have a BSc. I have been working in another field with a study gap of about 15 years, and can I still get admission, study something related to my work experience? Definitely. You can apply to study something related to your work experience, as long as your work experience is not something that requires, I don't know, the school is not insisting that you should have done that in your first degree. You can apply to something that has to do with your work experience. Definitely. Let's look for another question. If you have a 2-2 in your bachelor's, let me put this question up. This question is from Yusuf Abayomi, and I'm going to answer it so that I will not answer any other questions that are like this. It says I have a 2-2 for BSc. I have a 2-1 in my professional diploma in education. I don't know what that professional diploma is. Is it PGD? Can I go for master's directly? Now, the requirement for master's is a 4-year bachelor's degree. Yeah. So if you have it, it's a 4-year bachelor's degree and it's a 2-1. Generally, even though that's just general, you need to check the particular school to know what that school is requiring. But it's your bachelor's they are considering. Now, whatever you have, whether it's PGD or a master's, it's an addition, but you have to have met that requirement for your bachelor's first before the school can consider you. Don't forget, coming to Canada to study is now very competitive, yeah? So there are people who even have that 2-1 first class, yeah, that are also applying to that program. Okay, so you don't want to be wasting your application fee for programs that you know that you're not going to get admitted. Let's look for a few more questions. Transcript, you send your transcript to the school by email, so you upload it. No, not by email. You upload it with your application. You're not posting it. Most schools don't require you to post, just upload it. Should I do my biometrics more? I won't answer any question from Mercurius again for now. So let's look for other people. What is your advice? How many pages make a good? Let me answer questions from other people. Let me answer questions. So someone says, I mean, I'm wondering how this happened. Abibat, she says, I am a HND holder with distinction, but without work results. So how are you a HND holder? How did you come to do HND without work results? I mean, it's worrisome, and I don't know, think about it. If you're at school, this person doesn't have work results, then you wonder how were they able to get HND, right? Oh, let me see. I'm not going to answer any question that has to do with work experience again, because I've already answered that. So you can absolutely study something that is related to your work experience. Yeah. So if you, for example, you did a bachelor's in biology, but you've been running your own business, you can absolutely apply for a program in management or in business. If you're a marketer in the bank, you can absolutely apply for marketing and sales, even though you studied biology. So I'm just using biology as an example. And even if you do apply, let me just pin this message from Sakina Shitu. Can I apply a 1-year post-basic program? I don't know what I mean by post-basic program. I still go with my family. I have BSc nursing, I guess that's what you're writing. So whether it's 1 year or program or 2 years, you can apply for with your family, even if it's a 1-year program, okay? The only thing is that you know that it's just 1 year, so you have to prove to the visa officer why it's necessary for your family to go with you if it's 1 year. So the Ghana CD, someone is still asking about the rates. And I answered this question during the presentation. So I'm not going to be answering. That's why I said come early, pay attention when I'm giving the presentation. I'm not going to be answering questions that I have already answered. So someone is asking for the link for payment. I believe you probably came late. I said, go back to whoever invited you to the webinar, ask them for a link payment. If you're in my wait room, webinar wait room, I've already put the link to payment there. So you can absolutely be using that link by now. Okay, I have answered most of the questions here. I'm not going to answer questions when people ask me, I'm a primary school teacher. Then I did get the Japa system. If you have this peculiar situation, you have a PhD in sociology, you have a master in HR, you want to know what to do, get the Japa system. I cannot, this is not a consultation, session, so I cannot be, I'm only going to answer general questions, okay? And someone says, I think it's a good question. If someone has Canada work permit, can you get there and pursue a master's degree? No. If you have a work permit, they are coming to Canada to study, to work rather. For you to study in Canada, you need a study permit. So your work permit does not translate into a study permit and you cannot study with it. Okay. If you get the Japa system, you'll be guided on how to use it, definitely. And someone is asking, can we have this presentation on YouTube? Let me pin this question. This question is coming from Sovi Tijani. Yes, this video is going to be on YouTube. Just use the link that you used to come here. If you want to go through the presentation, you can go through it using the same link. So it's going to be here for you. I'm not taking it down now. Okay. And someone is asking, how much do I need in my account? You know what? Go through the presentation again. I have a 2-1 in my BSc. Let me put this up. This question is from Alice Atinuke. Can I get a master's scholarship? I don't know, Alice. You can, but I don't know if the program they're applying to or the school you're applying to is giving scholarships. But generally, you should be able to if you're coming to study a program that offers scholarship or offers funding. So you need to be going to check on the school website. So I can't give you an answer that covers all the schools in Canada, because different schools have different requirements, they have different programs, they have different scholarships, they have different funding. Yeah, but generally, you should. So can I get a loan? I'm going to put this question is from Eukarya. I just pin it up there. I hope you can see it. Eukarya Chinemerem. Can I get study loan or scholarship with a 2-2 lower? So I can answer this question. You can get a loan. So loans don't care whether you have a 2-2 or a 2-1. A loan doesn't care. It's a loan. You pay back. But for scholarships with a 2-2, if you have a 2-2, you can't do a master's generally. Yeah. Except, you can, there's certain masters that we ask you for certain requirements, or you can do a pre-master. Yeah. But generally, no, you're not getting funding. But as for scholarship, it's the same answer that I gave previously. It depends on the school and it depends on the program. This is a good question from Michael Okoronkwo. Don't forget, if you want to get the Japa system, go ask the affiliate, whoever invited you to the webinar, tell them that you want to get the Japa system. They will give you the link to purchase. You can get our email, you get my WhatsApp number, you can reach out, okay? Don't just stay here and be asking questions. All your questions can be answered in the Japa system, and you can get it at 40,000 if the price goes up, right? Okay, Michael Okoronkwo is asking, can one who is supposed to start studies in September apply for study permit this February? Don't forget what I said when I was making presentation. Apply on time. The earlier, the better. So if you have an admission letter for September, go ahead and apply. And if you have all your documents, please don't wait. Sometimes it takes a while for Canada to process applications. Now, how many pages? Let me come to Emmanuel. How many pages does, how many pages as study of purpose make good SOP. Now, there's for visa SOPs, there's no limits. You can, I mean, so long as you're making sense, write what you need to write. When it comes to study, a lot of times the schools will tell you, they want 1 page or they want 2 pages. So I think that 2 pages is fine. And if you have so much to write, 3 pages, but you need to be engaging. Don't write because you want to fill up the pages. Yeah. Make sure that you're writing what will get you, what will connect to them emotionally, and what will get them to approve you or to give you the admission. And Emeka also have answered a question from Emeka also have before. I want to answer questions from different people. So Emeka is asking, is it possible for one to defer? I don't understand this question, sorry. I'm going to remove it. I don't understand it. So someone is asking, Susie Beauty World. Susie Beauty World has a question. Is the Japa system good for a 40-year-old that has recent NECO result? Now, if you're a 40-year-old, I don't understand what you mean by recent NECO result. If you're 40 years old, you are supposed to have done, all things being equal, supposed to have done NECO before. So I'm assuming you want to come for undergraduate studies at 40 years old. I don't think that is the best. I'm not saying you can't or it's impossible, but you know, a visa officer is wondering, okay, you haven't gone to higher education. Why not just start in your country? Do a diploma or something, and then with that diploma, you can come apply for a post-secondary admission in Canada. I think you have a better chance that way. Okay. So let's see if we have any other questions. Fear is not going to make me motionless. I like that. I'm not going to tell you what to apply to study. So I'm not going to archive things like that. Kaiwo is saying, I mean, if you have this peculiar situations, why haven't you gotten a Japa system now? A 56-year-old with national diploma, catering and hotel management, can I still go for HND? Definitely you can. With OND, with national diploma, you can apply for an advanced diploma in Canada. So that's like the HND in Canada. I think that I've answered most of the questions. And we were just going, you didn't answer my question, though. So if you're saying I didn't answer, what is the question? What's the question? How much is the total package? So I've already go through the webinar again, go through the recording, you would see all that. So I've already talked about how much it's going to cost. I'm not going to talk about that again. How much it's going to cost is there. So someone is saying, let me save heaven. I'm just going to pin this up. Safe Heaven says graduate certificate versus diploma, which is higher. So when a school says diploma, that is a lower diploma. That means that's an undergraduate program. If it is a higher program, they will put it there. They will put graduate certificate or advanced diploma. If they are just saying diploma and they are requesting for a grade 12 certificate, it is an undergraduate program. Yeah. So that's how to differentiate it. Someone says I'm amazing. Oh my goodness. Thank you so much, Eukaria. Let me pin your comment up. Don't forget that. Thank you so much. Thank you for reminding me because I do forget. Okay. It's Canada Jackpot system. I will put this up. This question is from Stanley. Stanley online, and I'm surprised you're asking. That means you were not here when I was presenting. Is it hard copy or soft copy? How will it be hard copy now? After there are videos, so it's soft copy. Okay, it is a training, the soft copy training. So you get added to the portal where you can go through the program. So it's not hard copy. So someone who has a 2-2, if you're not able to do a master's program, these are the options you have. You can do a pre-master's if your program has one. You can do a graduate certificate. Yeah. This question is from Afiz Olanwaju, and you can do an advanced diploma. There's post-baccalaureate degrees that you can do if you have a 2-2. So you have options. You mustn't do a master's. Not everybody's going to get to do a master's. Yeah, so but you have options. Yeah. Will it cost to get professional service? This question is coming from Elvis. Elvis, I like your question, but you need to get the Japa system. I'm not going to tell you what it's going to cost. Once you get the Japa system, you have the leeway to ask me that question. Can you share your WhatsApp number? Unfortunately, I can't share my WhatsApp number here. I'm so sorry. If I share my WhatsApp number here, it's a problem. So, but if you do get the Canada Jackpot system, my WhatsApp number is in there. So that's a secret I've just told you. Get the Japa system. My WhatsApp number is there. Okay. I like this question. This question is coming from Ayola Olubumi, and she's asking how many times in the year is admission application available. So there's so for colleges now, usually for master's program, PhD, and university programs, they usually have the fall term, which is in September. Fall, everybody has fall terms. So colleges, universities have fall terms, yeah, which is like the major time when people come into school. But then colleges also have the winter term, which is in January. They also have spring, which is in May. Some of them even have summer, which starts in like June, yeah? But for universities, mostly September. But then some universities also have the winter entrance, which is in January. So those are how the terms are. So if you go to a school website and you're seeing winter term, it's January. If you see spring, it's May. If you see fall, it is September. You can use your HND for an advanced diploma study, yes. Let me answer this question from Franklin Chipeta. I asked earlier, how can I know if my degree, how can I know if my degree is acceptable? I'm Franklin, holding a degree in business management from Malawi. How do you know if it's acceptable for what? It's a degree now, so it's acceptable to study, definitely. So, I mean, someone asking how long, I mean, why are you asking this question? How long is it going to be possible? How long is it going to take to get permanent residence? I don't know. If you come and study first and then get your post-graduation work permit, and then you can worry about permanent residence. It is a step-by-step process. Don't be worrying about what's going to happen in the future when you haven't even taken the first step, okay? Someone says I have. I'm going to pin up this question from Isaac Gamma. You say I've gotten a Japa system. Amazing. You've applied for admission, you're waiting for admission. How much is it going to cost? Accommodation, after accommodation in Hamilton. Once you have the bonus and the job bonus, check it. You will see where you can find out how much it costs. Average accommodation in Hamilton. Can I move with dependents? So yes, you can move with your dependents. So whether you are coming for diploma or advanced diploma, there is no restriction. You just need to have enough money to cover your dependents. Be sure that you have money to cover them so that they're not coming to Canada and suffering, yeah? And then you have home ties. Don't allow them come to Canada and suffer, okay? So how much time do we have there? So we have another, what, 10, 15 minutes? So that all you good people can go and do something fun, apart from listening to me, which I'm very grateful for, by the way. Have you gotten your Japa system? I've seen that a lot of people here have been purchasing. Amazing. Thank you that we have from those of us who came. So many people have made their purchase, which is amazing. Thank you so much. But those of you who have not purchased, I don't know what you're waiting for. Don't forget, March 1st, we go to 40 50,000 naira, okay? So this is Emerson. I'm going to pin up this question from Emerson, but I have Empower Loan, approval of 35,000, which is amazing. And you're asking me how much proof of funds you need to augment. Now, there's a simple way to do this. How much proof of funds do you need? That's it. How much proof of funds do you need? And then that is how much proof of funds you need to cover. So if the 35,000 doesn't cover, then you need to balance it up. It's as simple as that. So you're going for an entrepreneurship program. Do you need tax clearance certificate? Whatever for. So tax clearance is not like a compulsory document. You don't need it, but if you can add it, that would be great. Thank you very much. Let me pin up Dorothy's chat. Dorothy, thank you so much. That's what I do. I love to do that. You're articulate. You made the whole process look easy. God bless you. God bless you too. And it is easy. It is easy. The Japa system works if you work it. So don't get the Japa system and sit there and say, now I have bought it. Now the next thing is for me to get to Canada. No, you still have some work to do. Don't forget your why. I'm telling you that why. It keeps you awake at night. It kept me awake. I wouldn't sleep because I was like, oh my goodness, what if these children ask me in the future why we didn't go to Canada? Why didn't you fight hard enough? Because I keep teaching my children about persistence, about goal setting, about chasing your goals, about visualizing. And now me that I'm teaching them, I'm not doing it, yeah? So it haunted me. And that was my why. So someone says, can I use NECO result for the study visa? Yes, you can, but you need to get admission first before you're going to study visa, okay? So you can use your NECO for admission if you're coming for undergraduates. Is it good to apply for September intake now? If you mean admissions, yes. So there are some schools that have even closed September intake, yeah, because all their seats are filled up. So if you're going for September and you haven't started applying now, you just might be late, okay? You have to hurry up. I like this question. I'm going to put it up. It's from Ojo Bumi Janet. Janet is asking, can I use Japa system for another country study route, or is it only for Canada? The truth is, the Canada Japa system, as the name implies, was made for Canada. But trust me, I have so many people who have gone to the UK, who have gone to the US using the Canada Japa system. We even have a testimonial on this channel from someone who used the Japa system to go to the UK. Because he bought it to go to Canada, but when that didn't work out, he used it to the UK, and other people have used it to go to the US successfully. But it is made for Canada, but you can use it. I'm not telling you to get it for other country, but you can absolutely use it as well. What if I don't have home ties? Now those what if questions. What if I don't have home ties? Can I still convince the visa officer on home ties? Now, so this is what I'm going to say to you and to any other person who has this kind of question. You're saying, I don't have home ties. Can I convince them on home ties? If you don't have home ties, how can you convince when you don't have? Look at your application from a third person's eye, okay? That's what I always tell people to do. Look at your application. If you were a visa officer, would you approve that application? There's no home ties. So what are you convincing? You need to make sure that you have everything to convince the visa office. If you don't have home ties, go and get some. Okay? If you don't have home ties, go and get some. I'm telling you. Yeah, Emmanuel Akweche. Yes, your family is your why. That is an amazing why. That is a why that will keep you up at night. That's a great why. That's the same why that I had too. So someone says, Isaiah says, thank you. It has been so informative. Thank you too for coming here. So I see someone still asking, oh my goodness, why now? Don't fall my hand. Razak is asking, how do you get accommodation when you get to Canada? We have a bonus. Bonus number 1, how to get job and accommodation in Canada. So get the Japa system. You don't need to worry about accommodation. So you will get accommodation. Let me see if there's any more question. I like this question from Rafik Macaulay, and I'm going to pin it up now. Rafik is asking, can I go for a master's program without declaring that I've done masters in Nigeria. The truth is, Rafiq, I don't know why you would want to not declare that you have a master's. I had a master's from the UK, Masters of Project Management, and as an MSc. Before I came to Canada to do a Masters of Sustainability, it was there in my SOP. I did not hide it. I said I had a Masters in Project Management, and I told the visa officer why I was coming to do another Masters. When I was applying for admission, I presented both my bachelor's and my Masters. And I have a feeling that my Masters gave me a heads up over other candidates who didn't have masters. Yeah, so please don't hide it, except you have another reason for wanting to hide it. Yeah. Let me see. Oh, Benjamin Obeng says, I've enjoyed listening to you. Let me put up your comments. Thank you so much, Benjamin. I have enjoyed talking to you as well. I hope you guys noticed my pin, my Canada pin. Lovely, huh? I mean, if you come here, I can get you one. So someone says, is third class accepted? We have answered this question like 1 million times. Yes, third class is accepted. Oh my goodness, what is the recommended home ties? So when it comes to home ties, there are different things that you can use as home ties, okay? If you want to know the different kinds of home ties, please get the Canada Jackpot system. But home ties ranges from family, business, property, associations, church membership. You just have to be creative. Different things. I mean, when I was doing my own SOP, I had, oh my goodness, I'm sure that visa officer will be like, this lady. I had all sorts of home ties, okay, because I knew that I had to be creative, and I justified every home tie that I put there. So, and it's one of the things we teach in Japa system. So home ties, anything that shows that you have a tie to your country, okay? Your webinar was pregnant. Pregnant with value, not with children. Thank you so much, Sandy Selwell. Sorry if I didn't pronounce the name. Nkandla. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. Thank you for taking the time to come here. If you don't have the Japa system, I don't know what you're waiting for. Click the link and get your Japa system. Get into the system. You can reach us by email. You can talk to me on WhatsApp. So let me put this question up from Uche Odibeli. Now, Uche says, I just made payment, but I don't know how to continue. So Uche, if you've made payment, I'm sure you got an email, and you also got a page after making payment that tells you that you need to wait 24 hours for approval. It doesn't take that long, but you need to wait for approval. So we're going to send you an approval mail. It might go to your spam or your promotions mail, so be checking there. And when you get the approval mail, you just click on it, use your email, and then you have access. Simple. Charles Akam, what is your question now? You say I have not answered your question, but what is the question? Skip again, because I can't be searching by names. You have to answer your question. Idowu, what is your question? Me put up Samuel Ashiedu says, I endorse Japa system because I've gotten admission even though I have not subscribed yet. It's amazing, you see? But you need to come and get the Japa system at some point. I have explained home ties. So don't be asking. I just explained what home ties are like 2 minutes ago. So Idowu Ayodeji, you didn't say what your question is. IELTS is not compulsory if you are from an English-speaking country. And I said that during the presentation, okay? It has been very insightful for you. Delight, it has been very insightful for me as well. So I'm gonna take 5 more minutes, and I'm just gonna go through the questions and see if there's any question that was not addressed in the presentation, and I'm going to answer those. So let me just take a quick browse. I hope you've subscribed. Don't be a stranger. Stop by this channel. Make sure you're clicking the notification button, because we usually post very great, valuable stuff here. So click the notification button so that you can get in the, this is your question now. UMM Iman. So we're talking about studying, so I'm not going to answer questions that have to do with Can someone pay for the Japa system for me? Oh my goodness, did I miss that? You're accusing me. Can someone, this question is from Yara Abla. Yes, someone can pay for you for sure, but the person has to use your details. So it's your email, your name, and your phone number. So yes, someone can pay for you, but the person uses your email so that you can get our messages, okay? And you can get the link to apply, the link to log in, sorry. If you're accusing me of skipping your question, you just have to write the question again. Yeah, because can I use advanced diploma in ophthalmologic nursing to apply for BSc? I've answered that question before. The answer is yes. Let me just scan those who said I haven't answered their question. You need to ask the question again. Is it a must? My goodness, what sort of question is this? Is it a must? I'm pinning it up. Is it a must that I must append my signature on my FOP? It is not a must, because usually it will be like something you're typing on your computer. But personally, I have my email, a soft copy of my email, so I just copy it and paste there. You want to look professional, okay? So if you can do that, it will be great. If you can put your signature, but nobody's going to refuse you because your signature was not on your SOP. So it's not like compulsory. So someone is saying, I am an OND. Let me just put this question up. This question is from Clinton. OND holder, you want to apply for college that will not like start from 100 level. So you're going to have to start OND. If you want to apply to college, that's just a 2-year program. You will start from the beginning, sir. I'm so sorry about that. But you will start from the beginning, sir. Or you can go and do an advanced diploma. You will start from the beginning. Let me. Can I go with my wife and 2 kids? Did I just hear button? With British accent. I'm so sorry I said button like that. It's button. Oh God. Is it? Okay. This one has hand in the question. Let me put it before you come and slap me. So this is from Carol Graham. I wrote my NECO 2009. I'll be 31 this year. Can I apply for undergraduate? Can answer this question. Nobody's going to stop you from applying from undergraduate, but you know there are some schools that if you have studied 5 years ago, 5 years gap, they won't take you. So you can go for schools that don't care about your study gap. Yeah, you can apply. Yeah. Oh my goodness. Merci, Umelika. See, when you are saying I didn't answer your question, you need to say what your question is. I've answered questions that have to do with tutu. I've answered questions that have to do with advanced diploma. I've answered questions that have to do with relocating with family. How do you identify a DLI school? We show you how to do that inside the Japa system. I cannot go through that here now. Someone says the issue of, this is not an issue now, the issue of medicals and biometrics, is it done in our country of residence or when we get to Canada? So you do biometrics and medicals in your country of residence. You cannot get visa and get to Canada without doing those 2. So it's definitely in your country of residence. Okay, if you have pass, those people that say I didn't answer their question, just ask it again, please. I've answered questions from Nicholas Chinemerem already. This is Olanike Oni. So I have 5 minutes. How long have I been talking? I need to time myself. Okay, I've been talking for like 90 minutes. Okay, so I have like a 5-minute timer here. I'm just going to do a 5-minute timer so that I can stop. If you have pass in your WAEC, but you have BSc, will you get admission? I don't understand that question. How do you get pass in WAEC? You must have a credit in math and English anyway. Or at least in English, because I don't know how with a pass you got admission. So those are the things. It's sketchy. I'm a civil servant. Can I be a sponsor to my wife? And family? Yes, my dear Rafik, you are the one that will sponsor your wife and kids. Okay, let me just get a sip of water, if you don't mind. 1 second. Ruth, I have answered your question, Ruth Adeneke, so I won't answer it anymore. Emeka also have answered. Magnetic view. I've answered this question as well. Can I travel with my family? I've answered that question. So you need to go and be looking at the recording. I've answered relocating to Canada with family. I've answered that. I have 2 more minutes. Let's see. God bless you too. God bless you, Ma. God bless you, Mercurius. I've explained what home ties are. Idowu Ayodeji, you did not ask your question again, so I don't know what our question is. Thank you. It's Ben. Ben, thank you very much too. So I think that you know, I'm putting this question up by OVA, it's because of all this. I was told by a friend. So friends, well wishers to tell you all sorts of things. Yeah, all sorts of wrong information out there. My goodness, I'm amazed at the level of wrong information that's out there. I was told by a friend that loans and fundings are only given to international students who are permanent residents. Okay, so if someone is a permanent resident, then they cannot be an international student. So you can see that there's something wrong with that information. You cannot be an international student and then be a permanent resident, and vice versa. Yeah, so it is wrong information. Yeah, wrong information. Be careful of information that you get out there. So let me see. I'm just trying to look through to see their questions. So I have 2 minutes more. Oh my goodness, let me rush. 2 minutes more, 2 minutes more, 2 minutes more. I'm looking through the old question. Dorcas Omolola. What is your question now? What is it? Can I study in a college with my NECO result? Yes. What is your question? Oh, let me put your question up. You have put so many fingers there. My goodness. So, Olu, is there any danger in processing PR and study route together? That's a very interesting question. And it is an issue that has been flogged continuously. Some people have taken the visa officers to court over this because actually they have refused some people for this, but by right, Canada encourages dual purpose, okay? So you can want to apply for permanent residence and at the same time a study route. There should be nothing wrong with that. But I would advise that if you want to go for study, probably put in your study application first, and then you can pursue permanent residence, okay? But dual purpose or dual intent is actually not a problem. I hope I can now rest, Olu. I've answered your question. I have 1 minute more. Let me see. God bless you. Thank you so much. Olaibo, forgive me. My Yoruba accent is getting buried by Canadian accent. So sorry. Can I apply for human resources? I'm not answering questions like that. Can I apply with professional certificate? Oh my goodness, I have to pin this up. So I'm assuming that the professional certificate is maybe something you got from an institution that is probably doing all this certificate in project management or something. If you want to come to Canada to study, you need an academic degree, not a professional certificate. So your professional certificates are added to your academic degree to give you an edge, but you cannot apply with just a professional certificate. That is an amazing question. Thank you so much. I have what? You will hear my alarm going now, which means my 5 minutes is up. So if you have a company, someone is saying, I like that question, so let me put it. It's a great question. Let me see. So if that's from Harry Chidozie, if a company is standing as your sponsor, do you still need home ties? the company is not your home ties. Now, home ties is a completely different thing from your sponsor. Yeah. And I see that there's a little understanding of home ties. I'm so sorry I can't go into home ties. I did explain. So if you're looking through the recording, you're going to see what home ties are. And a company sponsoring is not home ties. You need home ties. Oh, seriously, you need home ties. Home ties will convince a visa officer that you have the intention to return after your study. Because you're applying for a temporary visa, at this point, the visa officer is not concerned with whether you are going to apply for permanent residence after your study. They want to be convinced that this particular visa, study visa that you're applying for, you actually have the intention to return. So that's what all that is about, okay? I'm not going to answer questions about express entry. Express entry and work permit, I've done webinars on them. You can check the channel. I've done webinars on them before, and I'm also going to do webinars again. So I think that at this point we should stop because we've been at it for 2 hours. Yeah, this is past 3 in Ontario where I am. So I think it's past 9 in Nigeria. 6, yeah. So it's past 9 in Nigeria and probably Ghana as well. So get the Canada Jackpot system. All of these questions are answered there. Trust me, all your questions are answered. Can you use a friend bank statement as proof of funds? Yes, you can, but the question is, why is your friend sponsoring you? Are they going to marry you? What is going to be their reward for sponsoring you? So that's a question to ask. And then I'm going to pin up this question because I like it. Can I get a visa without attending one-on-one visa interviews? So Canada visa, it is a no-show visa. Yeah, it's a no-show visa process. So you don't have to show your face. Everything is online. Just submit your visa. And that's why you need all these documents. You need proper guidance because you're not going to be facing a visa officer and explaining, please, sir, that document, this plan, put everything in your application. It is a no-show process. Hardly do you get interviews for study visas. Hardly. I don't think I've ever heard of it. Okay, so for those of you who still have questions, you can do 2 things. You can wait for the next webinar. I don't know why you would want to do that. Or you can go ahead and purchase the Canada Jackpot system, meet whoever invited you here. They'll give you the link. If you're in my wait room, I will give you the link. The link is already there. But affiliates are promoting the product. Ask them for the link. Get the Jackpot system, and you can have all your questions answered. You can start right away. You do not need an agent. Agents cost a lot of money, and there is no guarantees. Yeah, so please try and do this process on your own. It costs you less. You're going to learn more, and you're going to be able to put in your personality into your application. I think that is all for now. And then I'm going to take one last question from Kayode Charles, because I don't think I saw that name before. I think you're late. 33 years old, study gap of 14 years, work experience of 14 years. Oh my goodness, study gap of 14 years, work experience of 14 years. I am so confused. Can I apply for career? This is a career progression course. Using all these terms that you pick up here and there. You can apply to study in Canada. That's your question, right? Yes, you can apply to study in Canada. So once more, thank you very much. I gave value. I hope you got value. Don't forget what I said. Don't just go and put this under your pillow and sleep on it. Make sure you're taking action. It's going to pain me. It's going to hurt me if you don't do anything with the information you got today. Okay, it's me. Really, it's going to hurt me. So, please make sure you get the Canada Jackpot system. I wish you all the best, yourself and your family. Someone is asking if it's possible to get visa for May admission. Like I said before, the processing is like 12 weeks to God knows how many weeks. There are some people that applied since September. They are still waiting for their visa. There are some people that applied in December. Their visa has already come out. So you can't say, yeah, so you have to expect the worst. If you're going to study in May and you haven't put in your visa application, you are on a long thing, you just might be late. So go ahead, rush, put in your visa application. If you want to come to study in Canada in 2023, May is already out of the way. Schools are taking for September 2023, and some of the schools have already filled up their spaces, okay? I just hope this was valuable. Thank you so much. I hope to see you on the inside the Canada Jackpot system. God bless you and take care of yourself. Bye for now. Oh my goodness, how do I get out of here? Thank you so much again. Yeah, so thank you. Bye.